Welcome to Bunnyfish Crafts. I'm your host Heather, known as Bunnyfish on Ravelry, Instagram, and YouTube. Today is Tuesday, the 19th of January, 2016. This is episode 164, Mini Vacations. Grab some sticks and string and come sit with me. Yesterday was Martin Luther King Jr. Day, and my kids were gone for the weekend, so they had a little holiday, as Mara calls it. They spent 2 nights with their Grammy and they had lots of fun. And Gabriel called me Sunday to ask if we had snow because he was getting snow and he knew that I liked snow. We got a little bit of snow, but nothing that stuck. I also drove out to Columbus on Friday and I got to hang out with Josh for a little while, so that was really awesome. And today's episode is probably going to be really, really short. I'm not feeling it, but I wanted to record because I have stuff to show, kind of. I'm just really tired. This week's content is kind of light, and next week's will be kind of light because I'm working extra hours and they're all late, so sorry guys. I feel like I've been really low energy for a little while. It's just, it is what it is, I guess. Anyway, the gift craft along is still going on. There's 11 days left to post your crafting goals and then your gifty crafty goals, and then get a second entry by finishing one of those projects. Projects could have been up to 50% completed before the start of the month. I am wondering if maybe you guys would be interested for like the February-March time frame knitting of making tube socks, because I need to make some for gifts. And I think that I read more than once that people wanted to make those for gifts for people, so I'm thinking that that might be a good one to do because it's something I can definitely commit to. Let me know what you think in the episode thread. And I guess we're into finished objects, which I recorded on Friday and will insert here. Hey guys, it's Friday the 15th, and in very few hours I will be heading out to see Josh, which is so exciting. I'm super excited. This is the first year that I've seen my friends outside of the ZK, and I'm loving this. So if we can continue this trend, that would be awesome. Anyway, I finished the things that I wanted to for Josh, which I'm pretty excited about. The first is the Tumbling Blocks Striped Socks by Leah Oakley. So there are 2 here. This is how I dry my socks. I clip them onto my sock blockers and then I hang them. And these are still damp because I just washed them yesterday and it is cold and not super dry here. What can I tell you about this? Okay, so I will tell you about all the modifications I made to the pattern, which weren't a ton, but I did do some. I did the leg and as recommended, although it probably said to do it for a particular length, and I probably did it for 11 rounds because 11 is Josh's favorite number. Did the leg to the specific length. I did not use the heel in pattern. I went with a afterthought heel so that I could keep the stripes on the top with the same number. See how nicely that stripes. When I did the afterthought heel, I took out my waste yarn, slid the needles in, and then I worked 4 rounds straight and then decreased every other round, like for a wedge toe, and I did it to the exact same count as I would do for a wedge toe for someone else, which is 10 stitches left over and then Kitchener. And then that's how I did the toe, every other round and then 10 stitches left. There is an option in the pattern for like an instep thing, a special instep thing, and I was going to do it, but then I was working on these that one day where I was like, oh my gosh, I need to finish these socks, otherwise they're never going to get done, and I totally forgot. What was that, Monday? When I was panicking about being able to finish. So I totally forgot that I was going to do the instep thing. So when I make this pattern again, because it's definitely a repeat type pattern. It was really fun, super easy. Probably wouldn't even have to look at it again if I made it in the next few months. Very simple, worth the money, well written out. I really enjoyed it. Love the yarn, obviously. Love Peyton's Croy. It's not super fancy dancy, but it is hard wearing and it makes really, really nice socks. I used US size 1 2.25 millimeter needles, and yeah, that's the socks. So hopefully he likes them. Otherwise, I will just take them back and rip out the toe and make them smaller and keep them for myself. He's going to like them though. I know he will. The other thing that I finished is Police Box Blue. So apparently Josh's projects just need to be problem children. I told you about the socks last week. Well, this week I finished the spinning on Wednesday night, and I was like, okay, I can play on Thursday. It'll be fun. So I started plying. I wound it off the bobbin into a center pull ball. I was plying from the inside and outside, and that was working fine. And then I looked over on my desk and I moved something because I was looking for something else. I was like, you've got to be kidding me. There was one more little ball of fiber on my desk. But I was already plying. I couldn't stop now because I didn't have an extra bobbin. I wasn't breaking the strands from my ply in order to spin another bobbin. So I finished plying, wound it off, and then my wheel just happens to be sitting right next to me because that is where it lives. This is how much fiber is in one of those little bumps that I had. So it's spun up. I am going to let it rest for about an hour, and then I'm going to wind it off and then ply it back on itself so that Josh can have those extra, I don't know, 15 yards or something. I will put it down at the bottom because I'll know by the time you see this how much yardage was in the little one. But the big one, the main skein, the main skein is not as much yardage as I would have hoped for, but you know, that happens sometimes. I think that I find that with BFL, the yardage is lower than I think it's going to be for the yarn that I get. So this was a BFL, yeah, I'll just insert a picture. BFL, it's called Police Box Blue. It's Alonzi Yarns.
Talking.
You stop talking.
No. Stop talking.
Oh, I see. Okay.
What's that?
It says stop.
Yeah.
Okay, go.
Stop. It spells stop.
It does spell stop. Also, she speaks in an Australian accent because of Peppa Pig. I don't think I'm going to edit any of that out. I think you get to see all of that. Anyway, yeah, when I spin BFL, I usually find that it's not as much yardage as I thought it was going to be, but the yarn is definitely heavy fingering weight. Maybe sport weight, but I'm thinking heavy fingering weight, and 322 yards for it. Oh, it's still a little damp. I thought it was dry, but it's not. I'll hang this back to dry, and I will show you all the other things that I worked on. I didn't actually end up giving them to Josh because I got distracted. I had them packed up, but I had a bag with my knitting and stuff and crocheting, like to take with me to set, so I would have something to do. And then I had a bag full of presents, and I forgot the bag full of presents at home. And I realized it while I was driving, but I was about 20 minutes out, and I said, I'm not going back, driving back 20 minutes, grabbing the stuff, and then driving back another 20 minutes just to make it to where I am, because it was I already wasn't going to get there until 8:30 ish. So I wanted to maximize hangout time. So I was like, it's fine. He will be fine without his presents. So yeah, those didn't get exchanged, which bums me out because he had presents for me. And I was like, I feel like a jerk kind of, but it happens, right? Works in progress. I worked on the blanket for Grammy a bit. I don't know. I don't think I moved the progress keeper from last time I showed you. I'm still in the last double crochet bit in the round. As soon as I finish the part in the round, I will show you an update, but it looks much the same. So I worked on that a little bit. I worked on it when I was hanging out with Josh, and I worked on it one night when I couldn't sleep. I took it to bed and I just crocheted in the dark because I was like, I really just need to pass out. So I just worked on it until I passed out. Um, it's going fine. It's worked with Karen Simply Soft in the autumn red colorway, and when we dropped off the kids with their Grammy, I worked on it a little bit, and she still loves the color, so that's good. She'll get it as soon as I can finish it. I started 2 other projects because I finished all the things. So all I have left on my blanket this month is the Mirla Fiber Arts bat, which I may have spun a little on, but I did not do the 10 minutes every day like I was supposed to. I think I did it for 2 or 3 days this week. I was just so worried about getting Josh's things done, and then I didn't even give them to him. Ugh, disgusted with myself about that. I may have worked a little bit on the advent calendar, but again, I didn't work on it every day like I was supposed to, so I just didn't get that time in, but it's fine. I'll work on it this week probably. Maybe. I don't know. I might just sleep this week. I think I'll probably do a lot of sleeping this week. So I started a scarf for one of the men I work with at work. He asked if he could commission a scarf, and I said, okay, well, yarn's going to cost about this much, and then paying me for my time. And he was like, yeah, okay. So I will be making him, he wanted a very wide scarf, and he basically said, make me something as if I lived in Michigan. So that's what I'm doing. I'm using Lion Brand Woolies Thick and Quick in this olive color. And then this is Big Twist Yarns Natural Blends in Natural Blend Black. And this is Natural Blend Dark Gray. So those 3 colors together. The Big Twist is, it looks basically exactly the same to the Lion brand, but it was $2 cheaper for only 10 yards less. So overall it was like a lot more yard per dollar. And I would have just gone with Big Twist for all of it, but and they have the same makeup, but there was no green in the Big Twist, and he specifically requested a darkish green. So that's what I went with. Yeah, it'll just be single crocheted. I'm trying to decide whether or not I want to do like a spike stitch, just a little, just to give it something, but I haven't decided yet. Oh yes, the other thing that I started is a pair of leg warmers that doesn't look like anything yet. It's called Nozki. It's a free pattern on Knitty. And so here's the very beginning of it. This is the ankle cuff. They are over the knee leg warmers, so they'll be really, really tall. And I'm using Leading Men Fiber Arts Dramaturg in Darkest Hour, which is very beautiful. Looks like this in the cake. Ooh, I have something hooked to it. Thanks, children, for touching things. Okay, so that was a little messier than I anticipated it being when I pulled it out. I'm making them for me because, I'm trying to make a few things for me this year since most of my crafting is not for me. And I really, really like leg warmers. I am super obsessed with a pair of leggings I have. They look like jeans. Like they have jean pockets and stuff, but there's no fly. They're just leggings. And I love them. And I've been wearing them under my thigh highs that I made. The ZK ones. If the Apocalypse Comes Beep Me by 716 Knit on the sock base, the green and purple ones that I made, and the Temperature Thigh Highs. So I've been wearing those over my leggings, but I also just want a pair of just leg warmers for when it's a little bit warmer than it is now, because those are really tall. So yeah, those will be happening. I really, really like the pattern, and since the bat and the leg warmers are the only two things that I have left on my to finish this month blanket, I'll be working on those pretty diligently this week, I hope. I worked on a mitered square. So this is Nooch Fiber and Fade Out. So I'm up to 13. It's growing very slowly, but it's growing. I did Barn Raising Square number 57. So this is Peyton's Cry stripes. Yeah, in the spring leaf colorway. I also made three hex puffs. There they are. There's the other one. I did one celebratory, and then I did two non-celebratory. These two are out of the drops that I made socks for the kid at work with, and this is the spring leaf stripes again. And I also had some gifts this week. I received from Shelly this cute little sock blocker. I had been talking about one of my goals was to make Christmas ornaments and like maybe little sock type ornament things. So she sent me a spare that she had and the key ring and the pattern. So now I can make these cute little tiny socks to hang up as part of my Christmas ornaments. So thank you, Shelly. From Trisha, I showed the swap package last week, but I forgot to mention that I also got a pattern, which was the Isle Esme socks by Rachel Coopy. And when I saw Josh, he had presents. So he gave me a whole bunch of tea, which I'm not going to go through because if you want to hear a whole bunch of stuff about tea, you can go watch his podcast. I will just make it and drink it and enjoy it. And I also have presents from RJ, so they are really exciting. First is this delicious bar of hazelnut chocolate, which I have already eaten because it's Tuesday and I got it on Friday. So let's be serious. It was delicious, and I love hazelnut and I love chocolate, so it was an easy thing to know that I would love it. I have some fruit snack thingies, I think. Yeah, like gummies, which I haven't opened because I'm going to share with my children, and as soon as I open it, they'll be gone. So I don't know what any of those are, but you know, we'll see. And if I remember, I'll tell you next week if I thought they were good or gross or whatever. I have this one hair that is driving, or this one lock of hair that's driving me crazy. It doesn't want to stay over here. It doesn't want to stay on the other side. It just wants to stay right in my eye. It's very irritating. I also have this scale, which is super exciting because I have a scale that I use to weigh my yarn and fiber, but it's kind of dying. Like, depending on where you put the yarn or fiber on the little tray for the scale, it reads differently. And not just like a few grams, like 20 to 30 grams. So that's not very good or accurate. So I'm super, super excited about this. And then the part that's going to be excited for all of you guys. Not because you get it, but because it's pretty to look at. This is all mine and I'm not sharing. Just in case you thought I was going to share. There are 3 skeins of Heaven's Hand Shaman, which is 100% hand-spun, hand-dyed raw silk. And it is 50 grams and 350 yards. So this is, it says 304 on the tag. I don't know if that's the colorway or what, but it's like the ocean. It's like a beach. It is beach colored yarn. And this is like snow storm, like the gray clouds and bluish sky peeking through with the white snow. Looks like a storm. And then this one is just this super gorgeous red. Super lovely. And I had the bag in my truck when I was dropping off my kids at with their Grammy, and the kids each claimed a skein. And they're like, "This is soft. Mom, this is really nice." And I was like, "Yep, you can hold it, but it's not for you." So I don't know what I'm going to make with this. Again, marinate in the stash for a little while because they're kind of precious skeins and I don't know what to do with them. But they're so, so pretty. All three of them are just completely gorgeous. Oh, one more knitting related thing is, I don't know if I'll start this week. I probably won't, but the project bag that had the most votes is this pink tetrahedron bag, which is sewn by Lindsay, and I don't know what's in it. So do you want to see what yarn I will be knitting my first quarter pair of socks out of? You do? Okay, that's good. Ooh. This is White Birch Fiber Arts. It's 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon, and the colorway is I Eats Me Spinach. So blues and greenish, not blues, like gray blues and greens and spinachy colors. So that's really pretty. It matches my sweater right now, which is fitting because it was a gift from Josh, and so is the sweater. So I don't know if I'll cast this on in the next week. I think it'll depend on how far I get on my other projects. Yeah, that's all the knitting I have. I have been reading a fair bit. I am this far through Shiel's Dart, which you can see is a very, very loved book. So I've been reading a fair bit because I don't know, my crafting mojo is lacking at this minute, which is kind of frustrating. It'll come back though. I hope you made something fantastic with your sticks and string, and I will see you next week. Bye.